Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, December the 9th. I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. Well, it's still legal. Heck, we'll sell it. Still legal today. But, we're moving into questionable legality at every turn. Keep forgetting to turn this off. I'd like to begin the show with the most least shocking revelation ever. Apparently, Nick Fuentes, the leader of the little, what I call them, the little Nazis, groypers, they call themselves, little internet Nazis. The leader, Nick Fuentes, apparently is a virgin. Shocker, I know. Never been laid. Hates women, but he's not gay. He told this on the Pierce Morgan show. Pierce Morgan got it out of him. I gotta give it up to Pierce Morgan. He does know how to do an interview. Like I said, he gets shit out of people. He got him to admit that he's never touched a woman in his miserable life. That's like these are the master race. Remember this, the master race. How they can be the master race without ever reproducing, which entails fucking a woman, which he has never done. How they intend to stay the master race, I do not know. They're like the Shakers. Have you ever heard of the Shakers? The Shakers were a crazy religious movement. I can't remember the exact time frame, but it was late 1800s, early 1900s. But they were so religiously extreme that they would not have sex. So they died out. Shocker, I know. Lots of shockers on this show in the beginning. They were so religiously extreme that they didn't believe in sex or any of that. It was dirty. And like I said, the movement died. Why? Because they all died out. Because without any children to pass on your bullshit beliefs to, your bullshit beliefs will die. Same as these groypers. Like, they're all a bunch of angry incels who've never had a woman, so we only have to deal with them for about, I don't know, 50 more years maybe before they all die out. Like, remember when the groypers, what happened to them? It's like, oh yeah, they couldn't get laid. So they died. It's like, movement died out. Why? No sex. I know it's a shocker that Nick Fuentes is such a smooth man. That's like the fact that he doesn't have women falling all over him. What else is going on? $12 billion bailout to farmers. Why? Because Trump fucked them over. And this is how you know that the world is fucked. Okay. Dylan Perry says, Jesus loves you, man. Give your life to him, and you will be saved. Jesus is coming soon. Go and sin no more. Right, like the Shakers. And soon, you won't. Your movement will die. It's like, they keep saying Jesus is coming back. I don't believe he's coming back. I'm sorry. I've been saying that for quite a while. Been quite a few false alarms along the way. Jesus and the rapture is not going to happen. I mean, it's quaint. It's a quaint story. It's Christmas time. Christmas time it's a quaint story, right? Guy goes out of town. Guy comes back to town. He's talking to his friends. He's like, man, it's the weirdest thing. I went out of town for the weekend to do some work out of town, and while I was gone, God banged my wife. It's like, what? God banged my wife. Knocked her up. Really? Yes. She's carrying God's child. And as soon as the child is born, all these dudes show up with presents. Who are these dudes? Why they got presents? How they know you're having a baby? I'm like, what? It's a weird story all of a sudden. Nothing like the Christmas music too. They just fucking right. When God doesn't hear your prayers, when Jesus can't hear your prayers, thank that little drummer boy. Fucking, that song kills me. Like, hold on a minute. Are you really banging a drum? 5 feet away from a newborn baby. It's like, yes, it's my gift to Jesus. Tinnitus. That's like, are you really banging a drum right next to a newborn child? It's like, oh yeah, he is. Or the 12 days of Christmas. Who the fuck celebrates Christmas for 12 days? That's a little excessive, don't you think? All those presents. Half of them are being live animals. Like, well, thank God you gave me these maids of milking, because after they're done milking, they can clean up all this fucking bird shit and fucking cow shit. There's all kinds of animals involved in this. So this is how you know the world is fucked. Trump puts on tariff policy, which is one of the dumbest things ever in the history of, in my lifetime anyway. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen done. Like, the man wants to drag us back to literally like 1880. He's like, that's when we were strong. Yes, Zorkin, it is the dude behind me. It's the dude rug. Literally a rug. Anyway, so he puts a tariff policy on, right? It's cost the soybean farmers $30 billion, right? And they're all fucked. And there's been suicides and bankruptcies and all kinds of things. He's devastated the Midwestern farm economy, right? So now he's like, well, I'll give you $12 billion. And then, do the nut lickers question this? No. Today, Laura Ingraham had a thing. Trump is taking the tariff money from overseas and giving it to the farmers. He's such a good president. You're right. They're broke because of him. He's not helping them. He's throwing them a bone because it's the dumbest fucking decision that's ever been made in the history of the world. And they voted for it. This country is fucked. How have you noticed? We're so fucking stupid. And then, there's another development going on. Apparently, paid Russian propagandist nutlickers, Benny Johnson. What? Israel? Why you think that, Zorkin? You think Israel needs our money? You need to send it to Gaza where you need to send it. They're the ones who need the fucking money. Anyway, paid propagandist nutlickers Tim Pool and Benny Johnson have a scheme going on now where I don't know if you remember this. This was like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. You remember Gavin McInnes, right? He was the founder of the Proud Boys, and he has a stupid podcast, where he looks like a hipster fucking craft beer wearing douche, and they talk, that racist shit and say they're not racist. The typical fucking alt-right shit. Anyway, he like staged on his show like that the FBI was raiding his show, and they dragged him off, and then there was a whole like thing like on X where everybody, or Twitter, everybody's like, oh no, Gavin McInnes got taken by the government. Oh no, and it's bullshit. It's always been bullshit. Their whole entire thing is bullshit. They have to invent ways for themselves to be the victims. So anyway, what's going on now is, a couple days ago, Benny Johnson was like, "You're all right with the sarcasm, Zorkin. Thank you for being here, by the way." Anyway, Benny Johnson, last week, I think it was, I don't know, it was less than a week ago, was like, oh, some man got onto my property and all the way up to the door, oh no, where are these people coming from, And now today, Tim Pool was like, someone was shooting on property, they're trying to kill me, and they all desperately want to be like martyrs, or not martyrs, but victims. Like, they want to be Charlie Kirk, but they don't want to take the bullet. So they want to invent it. And then Benny Johnson goes, oh, Tim Pool, stop the show because people are shooting at him. It's attempted assassination attempt. All this bullshit. It's bullshit. What you have to understand is, and I'm not making this up. This is true. You can look it up. Benny Johnson and Tim Pool work for a podcast company that's literally financed by Russia. They're paid propagandists who are helping Putin run a psyop on this country, which is intended to divide this country and to destroy it from within. And they think that they could take over the country, for the ashes or whatever it is. I don't know what the end game is, the entire end game. But the whole thing is to divide this country into liberals and conservatives and make it into like a civil war type situation where so they have to pretend like they're under siege at all times, and that the leftists are violent and coming after them, Even though, now, as I've said on this show a million times, I don't believe anything that comes out of the Trump administration because they have zero credibility. They lie constantly, all the time about everything. You just have to watch yesterday when Trump, reporter asked Trump if he was going to release the video of those strikes. And he said, and she said, because that's what you said you were going to do. And he said, no, I never said that. That's fake news, fake news. And then they played immediately the video of him saying it. It's a video of him saying it. But he continues to lie. Zorkin says, are there any right-wing podcasts or podcasters that I generally respect or mostly give the benefit of the doubt? What about on the left? No. You want to get frank about it. I mean, maybe Tim Dillon, maybe, and I don't watch his show very much, but what I have seen, Tim Dillon seems to deal mostly in his opinion and facts. See, I don't care if a person doesn't agree with me. I don't expect everyone to just nut lick me and agree with everything that I say. That's not the point of this show. The point of this show is that we talk about facts here. If I don't know something, I'll say I don't know. I don't know enough about that to comment on it. I'm not just going to make up some shit. See, what happens every single day is that chick goes out on the stage, Trump's mouthpiece, Caroline Levitt, and she just lies constantly about everything. And then Trump comes out and lies about everything. And then none of these people tell the truth. Dan Bongino was the only person I've seen who got caught like being honest the other day when he was like, well, I used to get paid. He was on Hannity and he was like, well, I used to get paid for my opinions. Zorkin says, so your stance is CNN or Fox is more trustworthy. Fox is not trustworthy. I just went over that. Fox is nothing but a right-wing nut-licking propaganda outlet that just never will maybe in the daytime, sometimes you'll get like business reporters and people who kind of tell the truth and say, "Oh man, this is not too good," like. But once you get to like the news portion of like Fox and Friends in the morning, that's a total nutlick fest. They're there to champion whatever Trump is doing, regardless if it's good for the country or not, or how stupid it is or not, or if it's unconstitutional or illegal. They're there to just defend everything that he does. So like Newsmax, OAN, these are all propaganda outlets. Now, CNN, I'm not sure what to think about CNN because first of all, you have to realize that I grew up in a time when we watched people like Walter Cronkite or Dan Rather, where they didn't give their fucking opinions about anything. They just told us what happened. Opinion news is something, I mean, first of all, these opinion shows are not news. They're opinion shows. They're propaganda for the most part because they were really brought into existence by people like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, their whole, the creation of the opinion show, right-wing opinion show, was directly to counter the actual media and to paint them as the enemies who are only telling you like what the Democratic Party wants you to know, or whatever. Because I don't know, but we go all the way back to the beginning. When the Washington Post took out Richard Nixon, right? That's when the right wing started to build their own media sphere because they were like, well, the truth doesn't work for us. Because you see what happened. Their president got taken down. And they never forgot that. Not necessarily. See, I don't agree with that. Zorka says those old shows are opinion also, just government-approved opinions. No, not really, because if you go back and watch, like Walter Cronkite, he just told you what happened. There was no opinion involved. It was all facts. Now, is it the facts that they want you to, they pick and choose the facts that they put on the air. So, yes, I mean, it can be manipulated, of course, but my point is, the world was more truth-based, fact-based. Like, we are way beyond that now. The facts and the truth don't matter because Trump can lie 1,000 times and nobody says anything about it. They just move on, and now everyone does it. I give it a little bit to Marge because I said Marge kind of woke up and saw like hey, this is not good. And she participated in it for a long time, but she says she recognizes that she's participated in it and she's getting out of the situation. Now, there's all kinds of, you can debate about the personal reasons that she's doing it or, or whatever. Like, she's just going to go off into, like I said, to a life of podcasting and media appearances and getting paid and maybe writing a book, and making a lot of money. So it's not like you got to feel sorry for her, but I'm saying we are way into another world where facts don't matter. I'll give you an example. Brainworm Bobby they just changed the vaccine guidelines, right, for hepatitis B, I think it is. So they said, newborn babies don't need a hepatitis vaccine. Why? Because cases are lower. Well, why are cases lower? Because the babies are vaccinated. And now, in turn, because of all the changes that they've done, they said that child mortality rates that have been going down for 25 years are now set to go up for the first time in 25 years. Now, why do you think that is? These are facts. See, the facts don't care. Science doesn't care about your fucking feelings or your opinions, Zorkin. The facts are that less children died from preventable diseases since they started being vaccinated. And now that these changes are occurring, it's going to reverse that trend. More children will die of preventable things. Regardless of what you say, or what Bobby says, or what Trump says, or what anybody says. That's not necessarily true, bro. See? That's what I mean. And the internet has made it worse because now everybody's dug into their opinion, regardless of the facts. If that was true, what you just said, Zorkin, you're right. There would have been no need for a vaccine, but that's not true. And children wouldn't have died from hepatitis, and the vaccine wouldn't have been developed. Period. That's how it works. That's what I'm saying. The truth, the facts, science doesn't give a shit about your political bent or whatever it is that you think. It's like you can say all day the world is flat. That's fine. It's not. That's just the end of the fucking story. And when you watch that movie about the flat earthers, and he says, well, I believe the world was round if you gave me this, laser gyroscope and it said 120. And they said, okay. And he couldn't afford one, so they went and bought one, and they brought it to him. They go, hey, here's that gyroscope you wanted. Turn it on. And then they turn it on. You go, what's it say? 120. And then you see him go. And then he's like, there's something wrong here. I'm going to prove. Yep, we're gonna test your hypothesis here. I didn't do the search that you said about how to look for the thing, but I just asked, how do babies get hepatitis B? And this is the answer. Hepatitis B is transmitted to babies primarily during birth, perinatal transmission, from an infected mother through contact with her blood or bodily fluids, with a very high risk of chronic infection for the baby if not prevented. It can also spread through close contact with an infected caregiver or family member via microscopic amounts of blood, such as sharing personal items like toothbrushes or even by pre-chewing food. How transmission is prevented. Hepatitis B vaccine. All babies receive the first dose at birth within 24 hours to prevent infection. Babies born to infected mothers also get HBIG antibodies shortly after birth for immediate protection. Universal screening. Pregnant people are tested for hepatitis B to identify at-risk infants early. Now, here's my question to you, because obviously you agree with Brainworm Bobby, right, on some level. What is so bad about vaccines, do you believe? No, not saying you're not making valid points. But the baby needs vaccine so it doesn't get infected. Also, like I said, it could be transmitted other ways. That I just read to you all the ways it could be transmitted. Now, my question to you is, what is it about vaccines that you don't like, that you're so against? It's just like, see, the right wing's not very logical. It doesn't make much sense. Like, remember when everybody said, they said, please wear a mask during COVID. to help stop the spread of, to help to slow down the transmission. And people were like, oh, no, I don't wear a mask. That's tyranny. And then Trump goes, I'm going to put the military in the streets. Oh, that's good. That's not tyranny at all. Going to break car windows and drag people out into the street. And then the right wing goes, oh, that's totally fine. Just don't ask me to wear a mask. Well, why do you believe that doctors say this is a bad idea, Zorkin? I mean, you can talk about it all day, but we haven't gone to medical school, have we? Most of the doctors, you know who agrees with RFK? The fifth dentist, the fifth doctor. When they go, 4 out of 5 doctors think this is a good idea. Then when you find that one guy, like that's the Bobby Kennedy guy, and right now that's who's running the fucking show. It's just like the climate change. It's like 97% or whatever, 98% of all scientists in the world agree that human being activity is causing climate change. But Fox News will find those other 2 guys, right, and put them on. This is bullshit, I've written my own paper. Totally not peer-reviewed because I don't have any peers, It's like, because I'm a fucking idiot, obviously. They throw me out of every meeting because of my crazy fucking stupid ideas. Let's say. Did you see RFK today? Was it today? Maybe yesterday. Where he was like, you know what we need to make everybody healthy? Pull up bars at the airport. He's in the airport. I swear to God, doing chin-ups. It's like, if everybody did this. This is the dumbest movement in the history of the world. It's like anti-intellectualism on steroids. And then Zorkin says, I just believe that a parent has the right to choose what is best. I have against government overreaching my body and my children's bodies. It's a freedom thing. Yes, but you're also living in a society with millions of other people. See, here comes the part. See, you should have led with this part. See, doctors get incentives from pharmaceutical companies. One doctor push one drug over another, get incentives they prescribe enough. To business is as altruistic as you. Yes. Yes. Which is why it's my opinion that healthcare in general should not be for profit. No, but there shouldn't be for profit. That's the problem, Zorkin. The system is fucked. This is the only country in the world where healthcare is run for profit. Well, I wouldn't say in the world, but I haven't really looked it up. But most countries, healthcare is free for the citizens, which means it's not for profit. In Europe, in lots of places like that, Canada, healthcare is free. Even in South America and these other countries, healthcare is free. It's not a for-profit business, right? You know what else is not a for-profit business in other countries? Prisons. It's like, that's the problem with this country, is the entire system is fucked. Nobody wants to address that, because if you try to address that, then you're a communist. You're like, certain parts of society should not be for profit. Education, healthcare, prisons. You shouldn't be making money off whether people live or die. You shouldn't be making money off locking people up in prison. It's a fucking ridiculous system. But see, if you change the system, the economy will collapse. Those 25 rich guys will go broke. Can't have that. What do you mean, Zorkin? Because it's been proven that they save lives. Have you looked at statistics? Okay, measles was gone, right? Right? Gone. It was declared virtually eliminated. Right? Then here come the anti-vaxxers like yourself. And what happened? Measles back, bro. It's back. That's what I'm saying. Is the truth and the facts and science and reality don't give a shit about your opinion. Well, that's true on some level. But I got my COVID vaccine for free. Did you pay for yours? Somebody bought it, but it wasn't me. I am hearing what you're saying. I do hear it. I just don't agree. It's like the guy at work is always talking about the Rothschilds and shit. It's like, come on, man. These are these tropes have been around since the beginning of time. It's just like the Nazis would say, oh, everything's the Jews, and the Jews, and, you know, it's the same shit. Now, it's just like I said about everything on the right. There is a kernel of truth to the things that you say. Actually, I got mine from Johnson & Johnson. Pfizer wasn't the only ones that had it. There was Pfizer, there was Moderna, there was Johnson & Johnson. Like lots of companies had a vaccine. Now, if you want to talk about the system itself, I agree with you that the for-profit healthcare system is the problem. Okay, but that doesn't mean that all the science and everything that's happened is irrelevant because of it. It doesn't mean that vaccines don't save people's lives. All you gotta do is look at the fucking numbers. Shit's coming back now that I've never heard of when I was a kid. Whooping cough, measles, tuberculosis. And it's just like climate change. All the things that people said were going to happen with climate change are happening. If you look around the world, right, these things are happening. There's no denying it. The hurricanes are stronger. There's more tornadoes. There's more flooding. There's more, the sea levels are rising on certain islands, and people are being forced off. They can't live where they live for hundreds of years. And still people say it's a myth, it's a hoax, it's a liberal. But the planet doesn't give a fuck about what you think or say. What's annoying, bro? I mean, you said what you said. Yes, but I'm sorry. That's why tech sucks, because you can't get in the context of what you're saying, and I'm sorry for that. If you meant to list every pharmaceutical company, that's fine. But just the fact that it was a product that it got put out there. You know who fucking funded the COVID vaccine development? We did. Because it was something that had never happened before, and everybody was freaking the fuck out, and there's a pandemic going on in real time of a disease that no one had ever heard of. And so people were freaking out, throwing shit against the wall, and trying to figure out, what are we going to do? And then they super fast tracked this vaccine, and they made it. It saved a lot of people's lives. See, that's the thing, is what you're saying is based in a grain of truth, right? The problem is the system is a for-profit healthcare system, and that's a problem, right? But you can't just extrapolate from that into everything they give you is bullshit, because it isn't. It's like you ever seen those stories where like doctors are doing heart operations on people that don't even need them? They go, oh, you're about to have a heart attack. You need open heart surgery. Like, and he didn't need that surgery. Doctor just wanted the $500,000 or whatever it costs, and the guy had good insurance. And so it's corruption. It's human beings corruption. And human beings are corrupt. That's another point that I make on this show all the time. I don't believe the myth that human beings are good. They're not. You find more jerk-offs and assholes in this world than you find good people. It's hard to, and more and more all the time. It's harder and harder to find genuinely good people. And the genuinely good people are sitting around here like me going, what the fuck is happening, to this world? Because it's not good. When people are cheering murder and people are cheering dragging immigrants, and most of whom are innocent, off the fucking street and into camps and ship them all out or whatever, or whatever the fuck I don't even know what their plan is, except to cause chaos and be cruel to people. Julia says, the COVID vaccine gave me more time with my husband. Without it, if he had caught COVID, it would have ended his life sooner. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know several people who died during the pandemic, of various ages, some young, some old. And people did die. So the people that said, oh, it's just a flu, like, they're full of shit. Here's the thing about the COVID. Okay, yes, to some people it is like a flu, right? But to other people, it could kill them. To other people, it's like stays a chronic condition. It never goes away. It's called long COVID. The COVID virus affected every single person differently. It was like a roulette. It was like viral roulette. You don't know what it's going to do to you. But you might get it. See, I said in the very beginning that there was really nothing that you could do except add that to the list of multiple things in this world that can kill you and move about your fucking day. I wore a mask in crowds. I didn't wear a mask all the fucking time. I wore a mask when I got into big crowds and when lots of people were around me, when I had to be in close contact with people I didn't know. But there's nothing you could do. Like, what they did was shutting down the world for a whole year. Like, that wasn't really a solution either. But that's what I mean, is no one really knew what to do. There was all these conspiracies about, like, they're doing this for this and they're doing this for that. The truth is, they just didn't know what to do. It never really, yes, it mutated fast, yes. It's still mutating. There's many COVID variants now, and new ones appearing all the time. And that's what I mean, like, once it's unleashed into the world, it ain't never going away. It's out there. You could get it today, get it tomorrow. Like a guy that I played music with, he got it. So we haven't had band practice for a couple weeks. No. Sorkin, I do not get a COVID booster. You know what? I've never had a flu shot. That's why I say, like, I don't necessarily agree that you have to have all these things all the time. Like, I think a flu shot is excessive. I think that the best thing you can do for yourself is to expose yourself to a lot of shit. Personally. And make your immune system strong. See, when I was young, I was homeless. I believe that helped me in the long run. Like, for a little while, I was homeless, and I slept outside. I slept on the New York City subway train, dirty places. And I was exposed to lots of germs and shit, I'm sure. And it made my immune system strong. Why not what? Why don't I get a COVID booster? Because I don't need it. I haven't gotten a vaccine since I was a kid. I mean, I got all the vaccines that you're supposed to get when you're a kid. I got the polio and the... What? Well, what do you mean? Bro, I'm a comedian. What do you want from me? I'm all over the place. I took the shot once during the pandemic. It doesn't mean I believe I got to get another one every fucking 6 months. And it also doesn't mean that I got to hate on people who do. You know why I don't? Because I'm not immunocompromised. There are lots of people in this world who are. There are lots of people who are sick, who got cancer. See, Laura says, I don't know if I agree with that. I was a teacher surrounded by germs and I always got sick. Yeah, but you didn't die. I mean, some people just can't. And it doesn't matter if you're exposed later. I'm talking about you have to be younger. When you're younger and strong, and you if you do get sick, you can live through it real easy because you're young, and if you're exposed to lots of things, it'll make your immune system inside your body strong. But I said I was vaccinated for all diseases that you're supposed to be vaccinated for when you're a kid. I mean, I went to regular health care when I was, a kid. I didn't say that, bro. That's not what I said. And that's not what the hepatitis B, the hepatitis vaccine for babies is to prevent infant death. That's it. It has nothing to do with you. Obviously, kids were getting it. And that's why they did it. Julia says, "Organ, I'm a healthy person and I don't get flu shots or COVID boosters, but my husband had idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, and I got boosters while he was alive because I loved him." I didn't shit on you. I said you live in a society with a bunch of other people. So that's fine, but you are endangering other people. That's the problem with right-wing ideology. It's very selfish. It's all about themselves. It's all about yourself. There's no collective group mentality except for the people who agree. But there's lots of people, like I said, who have lupus or immunocompromised. They need vaccines to help them out. They also need you to wear a mask or something when you go around them to protect them. It ain't about you. It's about them. That's what people didn't get. So the whole thing is it's just yes, and Zork and I do also appreciate. What? I mean, maybe I never thought about it like that. Maybe that's true. But I said I did my mask. I stayed 6 feet away. I followed all the rules. And I don't crusade against what other people want to do. That's the thing that I don't get is it's one thing to feel that way. It's another thing to go around like the people that laughed at people that had masks on. No, look at that guy wearing a mask. You're fucking sheep. It's well, you don't know. Maybe that person has cancer. Maybe that person has lupus. Maybe that person, maybe they're wearing a mask for whatever reason. But it's their choice to do it. And you did see ridiculous things like people in cars by themselves with masks on. Why are you wearing a mask inside your own car? When there's no one else in the car. That is kind of silly, but I'm not gonna jump in front of his car. Ah, look at that fucking jerk off. It's people are stupid. Most people, very stupid, and so they're gonna do whatever. They're gonna do a lot of dumb shit. But I said, Zorkin, you make an actually good point. I mean, I never thought about it that way. It's so if I don't get my COVID vaccine, aren't I endangering other people? Maybe I am. I said I never considered it. But I will say this. If the measles start popping up around here, I'm going to go get a shot. Well, I don't need it now. It's the people down the street got measles. Oh, well, I'm going down there and get a shot. You better believe it. Because now it's necessary. I'm not going to say, it's fucking all bullshit. It's because it's not. I do agree with you on some levels about the freedom part. You should be free, I guess, to make those choices for yourself. But here's the gig. Let's say you have children, and you're about to send your child to kindergarten with everybody else's children. Now, you really are endangering everybody else's children, aren't you? You should probably have your kid get a measles shot so that he doesn't give all the other kids the fucking measles. These are certain things that we've agreed upon. We're adults, so we can pick and choose where we go, where we don't go, or what we do, what we don't want to do. No, Zorkin, like I said, I appreciate you too, and I appreciate you for hanging out and talking. Like that's what I wanted this show to be. I'm not here, like I said, to preach, and discussions are good, and I'm open to other people's. It's not like I sit here and say I know everything about everything. We're just here to examine what's going on in the world and try to stay fact-based in the discussion. Right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Donald Trump walks on water and has every constitutional right to murder people off the coast of whatever country he wants to. Because that's not what we're doing here. Julie says what she finds funny is that we know that ICE agents are by and large probably anti-maskers, but now they wear face coverings. Yeah, exactly. There's one here that ICE agent here in Cincinnati just got arrested for choking out his wife. Shocker. It's almost like they're violent assholes. Then there was another thing I was reading that said they were just hiring anybody, and like some of them like were already like halfway through training, whatever the fuck that is, and then they come back like, oh, they got criminal records, or they come back and they failed a drug test. They just signed the papers and here's a mask and a billy club, break somebody's window. It's like, what do you think about that, Zorkin? Like I said, the same people that said wearing a mask was tyranny ain't got no problem with that. With masked thugs like kidnapping people off the street. Because they're not white people. But these people aren't racist. The whole thing is, like I said, psyop, gaslight operation of muddying the waters of what the reality is and isn't, and so that they can do whatever they want. It's like today. You see what happened today? Netflix tried to buy Paramount, I guess, or was it Paramount? No, Netflix is trying to buy. What the hell are you trying to buy? I can't even remember. Anyways, the media conglomeration is going on and on. But oh yeah, they're trying to buy Warner Brothers, and then Paramount was like, oh no. So they put in a hostile bid. But you know who's funding this hostile bid? The Saudis and Jared Kushner. You're gonna let the Saudis buy Warner Brothers. That's like HBO is part of the deal. It's the entire Warner Brothers corporation. So Kushner and Paramount jumped in with the hostile bid, funded by Saudis. I don't know why the Saudis are all of a sudden involved in everything that's going on in this country. Under the surface. I just wonder how long it's going to take before people really wake up and realize what's happening. Because all these things that like conspiracy theorists have been saying for years and years, and Rothschilds are doing this, and Soros is doing that, and that, and this, and that, and the other. These people are doing all that right out in the open. And nobody cares. These people have 5 or 6 propaganda networks on all media platforms, constantly spewing ridiculous North Korean propaganda type bullshit about Trump, and then they turn around and go, George Soros is trying to manipulate your mind. It's like, really? I don't know how Benny Johnson, I said, all of a sudden is all over my Facebook feed, but every time I turn on I guess as I keep commenting on his I don't follow his shit. It just appeared. That's what I said. That's something that's recently happened at Facebook. I don't know if you noticed that. David Ellison. I've heard of him, but I don't know much about him. I don't. That's the thing is, I don't. I mean, I guess you think because I'm doing this that I follow all these people and I listen to their shit. Like I don't. How are they listening to any podcast? History on Fire or hardcore history. You know, I like stuff like that. I did listen. I said when I worked at Whole Foods years ago, I listened to the whole Joe Rogan Experience catalog all the way up until like 2020, maybe. And before Rogan, the show took a turn. You know what I mean? Like his show used to be interesting. Like he would have guests on, and he would let them mostly talk, and he would ask them questions, and he would acknowledge that he's probably not the smartest guy in the world, and you know, and it was interesting. And then the more and more popular Rogan got, the more and more he started trying to think that he was part of the fucking gig, you know, like, and it's like, dude, you're not part of the gig. Like you're a average comedian who got lucky, got some TV show roles and became famous, and he's a very, very good fight commentator. But that's it. He's not somebody you should be listening to for. Like I don't sit here and say that I have all the answers to all these things. Now, I might suggest like what I think, but I'm not like by any means am I like, oh yes, and you should be listening to me and agree with everything I say. Because I have all the answers. These people helped Trump get elected, and then when he started doing the shit he said he was going to do, they were like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, I didn't vote for what was it? Theo Von was like, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. And you helped him get elected. And for the first 6 months, you followed him around like a puppy dog and opened up for him in Dubai and shit. Like, and now you're like, wait a minute. Like, you got tipped, bro. Because the real reality of the situation is you're not that fucking smart. And you never were. Not that funny either. I tried to watch it. Theo Von special. I was like, he had a Netflix special. I was like, oh, I never even heard of this guy. He's like, who is he? Turn it on. I was like, well, I'll give it a try. I was just open mind. You know, turn it on. I watched it for about 10 minutes. I didn't laugh one fucking time. I'm like, who is this guy? Oh, he was on The Real World. This is a podcast. Like, now he's doing stand-up. Yes, John, I make observations and point out the stupidity, yes. I don't claim I have answers. Because the truth is there is no answer. It's just like conspiracies. Like people like to believe everything is a conspiracy, but the real truth of the matter is that most of it is just fucking people being stupid. Oh, yeah. No, I do. Yes. Well, see, there used to be rules against that media conglomeration. See, because it's dangerous to have too much media in the hands of single people, because then they can manipulate the information stream. Now, people were always manipulating the information stream, but it was diluted because they can only control so much of the market shares. But since Reagan, Republicans have been slowly getting rid of all that stuff. And now we're almost back to monopolies. Instead of it being a monopoly where like Amazon controls, all of the retail shopping in the world, or, in this country, it's like there's like three. There's Amazon, there's Walmart. It's just like the grocery. There's Kroger's, and then there's Albertsons, but they were trying to merge, and then there's Publix, and Publix. Here's an interesting thing, and this is true. I work in the grocery business, so I know a lot about the grocery business. But the truth is, when I was in Vegas, I was working for Albertsons, and Kroger's was trying to merge with them, and which would create a super, like they own everything. West of the Mississippi, they would have owned almost everything. And Publix is down south, right? Kroger's is here in the Midwest. Where Kroger's and Publix had like a gentleman's agreement that they would stay out of each other's territories, right? And they wouldn't. And Kroger's can't help themselves because Kroger's is evil. And so they were like surreptitiously like penetrating into Publix territory with like trying to do it like incognito with like delivery services and things like that. But they were still setting up shop inside their territory. So Publix was like, hey, you're fucking violating the agreement. So they were like, hey, fuck you. And so they came up here and just started building stores. And now it's a war. It's going to be great to watch them go at it. It's a war. But the point is, these companies want, like Kroger's, they want to control everything. They want to stomp out all the competition, or if they can't stomp them out, buy them out. So that they control everything and there's nobody making a dollar off of whatever business they're running except for them. And the truth is that that's the myth of capitalism, is the unlimited growth thing. Like that there's no such thing as unlimited growth. It's made up. It used to be like when you worked in retail, they'd say, you got to make 5% more than we made last year. Yes, it is. Gangster turf war shit. Yes, Zorkin. I'm going to hear a funny story. This is true. There's a little place called Myers. Well, I mean, they're pretty big, but compared to Kroger's, they're tiny, right? But they're still around here. Yes, you used to call it organized crime, John. Protection rackets and shit. And that's the thing, is corporate shit is crime. Period. It's crime that you won't go to jail for. It's legal crime. There's still casualties and all that shit. But anyway, this is true. So there's a little place called Myers. They have, several stores in this area. So Kroger's wanted to buy them out, right? So they went to him and they're like, hey, we want to buy you out. And then Myers was like, no, we're not selling. They're like, what? They go, no, we're not selling. So, all right. So they had this Myers in Hyde Park, right? But behind it was a bunch of property. Yeah. See, Zork, now you're full on libertarian, aren't you? Right? You sound like a libertarian. The problem with taxes is people say you can't pay taxes, but how are you going to run a country without taxes? How are you going to bring in money for the government? And when is the government going to give you service? Or are you one of those libertarians that wants to go back to like trading? Full on libertarians. Anyway, so Myers was like, we're not selling. And Kroger's was like, oh yeah? So what they did was they bought up all the property behind the Myers. And they were like, all right then. And they built like a super Kroger's in a mall and shit. And they built it so close to the Myers. You almost hit the building when you open the back door. That's how petty Kroger's is. They're like, we'll fucking put you out of business if you don't sell it. And the Myers is still there because they have a bunch of loyal customers, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd like to know like how that Myers survived, because they put Super Kroger right next to him. Myers, not in the Super Kroger. Super Kroger's just like Myers. They got clothes, they got all that stuff. Zorkin says, I have a lot of libertarian tendencies, that's for sure. I'm not a pie in the sky one, though. I understand some taxes are necessary. I think we need to have a conversation about all the dumb stuff. Well, yeah, for sure. Like, why do billionaires need tax breaks? Why do billion-dollar corporations need subsidy? And that's the real question. And why is it that if you ask for something in return for paying your taxes, that they call you a communist? Why is that? Because the truth is, they want to make all the money and then take all your money too. The whole thing is fucked. Zorka says that we waste money on left and right. Both are wasteful and since nobody can act responsibly, I tend to want to take the ball and go home. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Mars is kind of more like a Walmart, I suppose. So you got like sporting goods, and they sell TVs and video games, and and so I guess you're right about that. Uh, yes, Zorgan, I kind of agree, and sometimes with that point, like I said, like that's where you're at now. We're like where I am now, where I'm like I'm at the age of like, do I really want to keep living in this country? Like once you get so old, you see through the whole thing. You're like the whole thing's a scam. This country's a scam. Yeah, like a Target, I guess, like low rent Target. Laura says it's in between Walmart and Target for second place. Right, exactly. um, but yeah, it's like you see through the system. You're like, no one. This system is not going to change. And as a matter of fact, it's getting more extreme. It's going to swing violently to the left and to the right until it comes apart. Really, I think that's why I've been quietly pushing secession. I think they should just split this country in two, and we should run dual experiments. Let these right wing people have their whatever it is that they want, and let us have more like Canada. You know, because I want health care. I want things that everybody else has in the world. The things that you should get for paying your taxes. Now, see, that's the things working. You go where you got to go. I don't know. I've never been anywhere else. So it's all mythical, isn't it? You go, oh well, it could be like this, it could be like that. Yes, John, you're right about that. It's almost a caste-like society. Yes, where you're either born in the upper crust or you're born down here. And since there's no middle class anymore. Yes, that's too fucking cold, Questella. Yes, you actually did spell it correctly, John. Norway and Iceland are cool. They're too fucking cold, same as Canada. Like Canada sounds nice, but it's fucking freezing. I guess winter's here officially. It's 19 fucking degrees outside. It's cold as fuck. I like to go to Japan. I said Japan is one. Like I want to go somewhere where they're just quiet, man. People keep to themselves. You see, I don't know much about like the political system and everything that's going on. Do they have Nazis in Japan? I don't know. Of course they are. They're an island. And all those Asian, like I said, if you know anything about history, all those Asian countries have been fighting each other for years. They all hate each other. Like Japan invaded Korea, and China invaded. Japan was very warlike because they were isolated, and even their own culture was warlike. They fought each other for years and years and years before they united the country and became. Hey, wait a minute, what? Then it's out. Like Laura says, in Japan you can't smoke pot at all. What, really? It's like, well, fuck moving there. I am not going anywhere where I can't smoke weed. So I go to Jamaica. Well, what do you think this is all about, Zorkin? And that is true. The real take is, he says, his real take is that in reality, no other country has a real chance to actually conquer the USA. The only way we can be defeated is if we defeat ourselves. A lot of other world factions would like. Yes, exactly. And that's what this is all about. Don't you get that? MAGA, the alt-right, it's all a psyop from Russia and other countries that want us to destroy ourselves from within, and it's worked. They found the perfect vehicle in Donald Trump to drive the car that will wreck this country. And he's dumb enough to fall right into the trap because all he wants is attention and to make a lot of money. They give him everything he wants.
What?
And he's easily manipulated. And the people here are stupid, so they just fucking loaded up the internet with trolls and fake pages and like I said, podcasters that they paid for to fucking gin everyone up and divide everybody. Use cultural issues because that's all they can use because they don't have any real ideas about how to do anything. Look at this healthcare thing. Now they keep saying, "Oh, the ACA is terrible. It's horrible. It's so they're gonna get rid of it, and everybody's premium is gonna go up 500% overnight." There you go. That's gonna hurt a lot of people. Well, we can't keep going this way. Well, what's your plan? They don't have a plan. All right-wing people know to be is against shit. They don't have any real ideas about how to do anything. They want to keep everything the way it was, the way it is, and revert everything back to the way it was, which did not work then, and definitely won't work now. I get that. But see, there's always a bit of truth. That's another... If you look at any right-wing bullshit premise, right? It always starts with a grain of truth. They'll say, like this thing in Minnesota, for example. They'll say Somalis took advantage of the welfare system, right? Which everyone did. Hey, we got the cup, 100. Got the 100 message cup. Thank you so much. See, I agree with that, Zorkin. That is true. That's true. But to see, the right-wing premise is that if you're tolerant of other people, that's forcing something onto them. That's where you get the hate, the gays, and the trans, and whatever else. Like, they don't want tolerance. They don't like tolerance. They want the world to stay the way it was, which is for those kind of people to be in charge, which is the way it was. If you acknowledge that, they say, "Oh, you hate yourself. You hate white people." I know. That's not true at all. But you can't look at the history of this country and say that it's not. It wasn't set up and operated as a white supremacist operation for hundreds of years. That's true, Zorkin. See? Yes, deregulation fucked everything up. Yeah, exactly. Because the truth is, they're fascists. They want to meld the corporate and the state power together, the power and the money, and they want to be in charge. And a free and open society where everybody has a chance is not cool for them. They want to be able to control everything. And even if you have money, even if you do what they say, and you save up your money, right? And you have some money, what do they want you to do with it? Well, you need to give it to us. Put it in the stock market. Let us hold your money. That's what they want. And that's what they do. You go, you need to give us your money. And then when they fuck it up, they fucking lose all your retirement money. Yes. What? Wait, hold on. Ooh. Now, see, I've already been on for over an hour, and I only do the show for an hour, so I'm going to go. But please, I do this show. If you're new like Zorkin, I do this show Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, unless there's something going on, like Saturday I had to do stand-up, so I didn't do a show on Saturday. But I will announce that I'm not going to be here. But other than that, I'm here every other day, just about at 6 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. But I'd like you to come back and I'd like to talk about that. Because I don't understand what you mean by a clean, clear society. And how you can also talk about freedom, but yet say, that these people don't deserve to be free to be what they want. And the problem is, it's always a correction and it's always an overcorrection, right? Like DEI and things like that. They existed because they needed to. Because people were discriminating against other people. So they had to make rules to try to stop discrimination. But then that goes too far, like everything else. And you're like, oh, now it's too far. And then, of course, the white people who were previously in charge feel like, oh, now you're invading our, you're invading our territory. And I'm getting fucked over now, and it's like, are you? I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to have that discussion because I'd like you to elaborate on what you mean by a clean, clear society. But I will say this. I find you very interesting, and I appreciate you hanging out and talking. You're the first person that's actually contributed to this show in the way that I wanted it to be when I first started. And I've been doing this for a while now. But I want the show to be a discussion. I don't want me to just be ranting and preaching about whatever, because that's not what the show was ever made. Sure. And if you'd like to come on face to face and talk, I'm down with that too. You can email me at bruceleonardleansleft@outlook.com if you like this show or you want to be a guest, because I'm not averse to having guests and having an actual discussion. I want the show to be interesting, like I said, and you've made it interesting, and I appreciate that. But like I said, I got to get out of here because I'm going to Lars. So, like I said, if you hit the like button, subscribe button. I hate to do all this shit one, but like I said, you can email me at bruceleonardleansleft@outlook.com if you'd like to tell me to fuck off or tell me you love this show. I mean, it doesn't matter. I would like to hear from you. And if you like the show, please tell your friends, because I'm trying to build this into something. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. So remember, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm here every week. I am Bruce Leonard. And this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. Thank you to Zorkin and everybody, John, Estella, Laura, Julia, everybody for watching, hanging out, please. And so, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you.